You're about to walk into your cruise cabin for the first time. But before you even touch your luggage, stop. Because what you do in the next 5 minutes decides whether your entire cruise runs smooth or becomes a mess you'll be cleaning up all week. There's a new way smart cruisers are setting up their cabins. One that completely flips how embarkation day feels. It's simple, it's fast, and it quietly fixes problems most people don't even realize they've created. Miss it, and you'll spend your trip fighting your cabin instead of enjoying it. But when you get it right, your room becomes the most efficient, stress-free space on the entire ship. So before you unpack or open that balcony door, here's what you actually need. Number 1, lock in the environment. First thing to do, take command of the room. Temperature, power, lighting, all of it. Cabin ACs on cruise ships are notorious for being unpredictable. Sometimes you're freezing. Other times it feels like the Caribbean sun followed you indoors. So don't wait to find out which one you got. Set your temperature right away and actually feel it working. If it's not cooling down, call maintenance now, not later after dinner. On embarkation day, engineers are getting flooded with requests, and the longer you wait, the harder it is to fix before nightfall. Then, check your outlets. Plug something in. Make sure they work. A surprising number of cabins have dead ports or switches that you need to flip for the power to activate. And the moment you confirm it's running, plug in what you need for that evening. Your phone, your camera, maybe your portable fan if you brought one. You're not just testing, you're securing the lifeline for your gear, because on a cruise, you don't want to discover a dead battery right before your first port day. And once you've done that, take one more second to breathe, because this cabin, this space, is your home base now. Make it feel like it. Number 2, secure your space. Cruise ships are safe, but your cabin still sees traffic. Stewards, engineers, supervisors, they all pass through at different times. So the next move is about locking down what's yours. Start with the safe. Test it. If it doesn't reset or won't accept a new code, report it right away. Don't assume it'll be fine, because if you end up leaving valuables out during turndown service, well, that's on you. Then take a quick scan around the room. Check the door latch. See how it locks from the inside. Make sure you can bolt it overnight. If you've got a balcony, make sure that door seals and locks properly too, especially on windy nights when it can rattle open just enough to wake you up at 3 a.m. And here's a small but underrated trick. Flip that Do Not Disturb magnet or tag as soon as you settle in. On embarkation day, crew members move in and out of rooms non-stop. Marking your door saves you from an awkward surprise walk-in. You've just claimed your territory. It's private now, exactly how it should be. Number 3, establish order before the chaos hits. Now here's where the average cruiser loses control. The moment they unzip the suitcase. 10 minutes in, the room looks like a hurricane hit it. Smart cruisers do it differently. They don't unpack randomly, they create zones. The idea isn't to be neat, it's to be efficient. So instead of scattering your stuff across every surface, slow down for a minute. Picture how you'll actually live in this space. Keep your everyday clothes close, your evening wear tucked away, your essentials accessible but contained. Shoes go under the bed, not by the door. Toiletries? Well, keep them contained, not all over the sink. What you're doing is designing flow. Every item has a purpose and a place. Once it's set, you'll never lose track of anything, and you won't wake up stepping on your own luggage. It's subtle, but it changes how you feel in the cabin. It's no longer cramped, it's composed. And stick around because in a second, we're getting into a move that almost no one does. Yet it quietly prevents one of the biggest cruise day 1 headaches. Number 4, sanitize the invisible. Here's something most people skip because they assume the cabin's been cleaned. And it has, but not like you think. Turnover time between cruises can be ridiculously short. One family checks out, an entire team rushes in, and 30 minutes later, the next guests arrive. That's why you want to take 30 seconds to run your own quick clean. Not the whole room, just the high-touch spots that get missed. Think switches, remotes, handles, the phone, the bathroom fixtures. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being smart. Cruise ships are floating cities, and once something spreads on board, it spreads fast. You don't want your vacation cut short because of one leftover fingerprint from the last guest. The best cruisers treat their cabin like a clean base camp. You reset it once you arrive, and after that, it's yours, fully. Now that you've locked in comfort, safety, and order, it's time to do something that gives you leverage, not just peace of mind. Number 5, document everything before you unpack. This one's fast but powerful. Before you open a single drawer, take out your phone and do a 30-second video walkthrough of your cabin. It's not for social media, it's insurance. If there's a cracked tile, a dented cabinet, a stain, anything that looks off, you've got proof it was there before you arrived. 99% of the time, you'll never need it. But that 1%, it can save you from being charged for something you didn't do. Plus, now here's a bonus. When it's time to leave, that clip helps you remember exactly where everything was. You'll pack faster and forget less. It's the kind of thing seasoned cruisers do automatically. Small habit, but a big payoff. And now you're past the basics. You've stabilized your environment, secured your space, and organized the chaos. But that's only half the game. Because the next few moves, they're the ones that turn your cabin into something most passengers never achieve. A perfectly optimized hub where everything works around you. One of them can literally save your night's sleep. Another might quietly save you hundreds by the time you disembark. So let's go deeper. You've taken control of the basics: temperature, power, security, cleanliness, order. Now we're stepping into the level most people never reach. These next few moves are about optimization. The details that quietly transform your cabin from a place you stay in to a place that works for you. And it starts with something so simple yet so underrated: lighting. Number 6, fix the light before it ruins your sleep. Most cabins have lighting setups that look nice in photos, but are horrible in practice. Either they're too dim to unpack properly, or too bright when you're trying to wind down. Here's the trick seasoned cruisers know. Take control of your light before the sun sets. Spend 1 minute testing every switch, every lamp, every light source, and set your night lighting plan. Which lamps stay off? Which ones give you that soft glow you can leave on without turning your cabin into a stadium? Because here's what happens otherwise. It's 1 a.m., you come back from the deck party, you flip the wrong switch, and now your eyes are burning like you just stepped into daylight. Or worse, your cabin mate wakes up. So you set your rhythm early. You learn how your room behaves in the dark. If you want to go even deeper, bring a small motion light or a soft magnetic LED. Attach it near the bathroom or hallway so you don't have to fumble in the dark. That single move can save you from tripping or bumping into the bed frame or slamming into the wall while trying to find the bathroom in rough seas. But lighting isn't just about visibility. It sets mood. It's what transforms your cabin from a sterile space into a retreat. And when you combine that with what's next, it becomes almost addictive. Number 7, create your reset zone. Cruise ships are constant motion. Music, crowds, announcements, events. The sensory overload is real. That's why the smartest travelers design one corner of their cabin as their reset zone. Maybe it's a small section by the balcony with your water bottle and headphones. Maybe it's just the right-hand side of your bed where you drop your watch and phone every night. It doesn't matter where. What matters is consistency. Because when you come back from shore excursions, when your energy's shot, you need one physical space that feels calm and anchored. It's where your brain says, all right, I'm home again. And the funny part, that little ritual, setting your zone, completely changes your cruise energy. You stop rushing. You stop losing track of your stuff. You move with purpose instead of chaos. There's a reason veteran cruisers always seem relaxed. They've created tiny systems inside their cabin that stabilize everything else. But while that keeps your energy balanced, there's another system most guests completely ignore, and that's the one that quietly eats into your wallet the most. Number 8, audit your cabin before the charges do. This one is huge. Before you even settle in, go through every chargeable item in your cabin. Because yes, cruise lines love leaving temptations in plain sight. The mini bar, the bottled water, the premium snacks, sometimes even the little bottles of liquor on the counter. They all look complimentary. They're not. And some ships now track them digitally. You move a bottle and it automatically charges your account. You don't even have to drink it. So before you unpack, take one clear video sweep of your cabin bar area and note what's there. If you know you're not going to use it, ask your steward to remove it completely. They'll appreciate it, and you'll avoid that sinking feeling when your onboard statement shows $80 worth of accidental water bottles. While you're at it, glance at your cabin TV. Most cruise lines let you check your onboard spending there. Set a quick reminder to check it nightly. The smartest cruisers don't get surprised on the last morning. They monitor as they go. Now, once you've done that, you're nearly set. But there's one more move that can elevate your comfort beyond almost anything else, and hardly anyone does it. Number 9, personalize your air. This one's subtle but powerful. Cruise cabins recycle air constantly, and while it's filtered, it can still feel dry or stale, especially if you're in the interior cabins. Here's what insiders know. Bring something that makes the air feel fresh and alive. Maybe it's a small portable fan, a scent-free humidifier, or even a travel-size essential oil pad if you want to stay within the line's policies. It's not about smell, it's about atmosphere. When your cabin feels fresh, you wake up feeling better. You sleep deeper. You don't feel that hotel fatigue that kicks in after a few days in recycled air. And here's a small extra win. The gentle hum of a fan at night doubles as white noise, masking hallway chatter and shutting out the sound of doors slamming nearby. You'll sleep like you own the ship. Combine that with your lighting setup from earlier, and your cabin becomes more than a space. It becomes a system. Every little adjustment connects. Each thing you did before, cleaning, zoning, organizing, now pays off through better sleep and better mornings. But before we wrap, there's one last step that ties it all together. It's not something physical you do in the room, it's something mental, and it changes how you experience your cruise entirely. Number 10, build the ritual. Once everything's set, your light, your air, your order, you take one last pass around the room. Touch everything once. Adjust a curtain, hang your key card, double check your safe, and pause for a second. That moment right there, that is when your cruise officially starts. Because what you've done isn't just organizing, you've built a ritual, a process you'll repeat every cruise from now on. Most people rush through embarkation day and end up drained by dinner. You've built calm into your environment. You know where everything is. You know what to expect. And your cabin is completely dialed in to how you travel. And that small piece of mastery carries into everything else. How you plan your excursions, how you pack your day bag, even how you handle setbacks on board. You've basically set yourself up to enjoy your cruise the way the pros do. Smooth, effortless, stress-free. But here's the cool part. We're still not done. Because even though you've now got the perfect cabin set up, there are still a few moves outside the cabin that connect directly to this. And if you skip them, you're missing the full picture. There's a reason experienced cruisers walk into day 2 calm while everyone else looks overwhelmed. They've linked what they do inside the cabin to what they do the moment they step back out. That's where this next part comes in. In a second, we'll talk about how to sync your cabin setup with the ship's rhythm, the secret timing patterns that make your day smoother, your sleep deeper, and your experience way more relaxed. But before we go there, a quick recap. You've stabilized your environment, built flow into your space, locked in safety, sleep, and air quality. Everything's calibrated. Now the real fun starts, when your cabin stops being just a room and becomes your personal headquarters for the entire voyage. So let's take it home. Number 11, sync with the ship's rhythm. Once your cabin is set, there's something most passengers never even think about, and yet it changes everything. How your cabin connects to the ship's flow. Because a cruise ship isn't static. It's a living, breathing machine, a floating city with its own pulse. There's a rhythm to everything. The subtle hum of the engines, the echo of announcements, the shift in lighting as day turns to night, the crowd movements between meals, the sound of distant laughter through the hallway. When you learn that rhythm, you stop reacting to the ship and start moving with it. You'll notice small things first. The way the water sounds slightly different when you're sailing at full speed. The quiet moments right after the late dinner rush. when the hallways are empty and the decks are calm. The sunrise timing that hits your balcony just right because you paid attention to the direction your cabin faces. Once you tune into that rhythm, everything becomes smoother. You'll never wait in line at the buffet again because you know exactly when to go. You'll sleep better because you'll anticipate when the ship quiets down. You'll move through the space like it's designed around you because, in a way, it is. Here's what veteran cruisers know. The ship rewards those who understand its flow. And you can tell who they are. The ones who never seem rushed, never look lost, never complain about missing things. They've synced up. They're in tune with the motion of the sea, the schedule of the ship, and the quiet timing of their own space. And it all starts inside the cabin, where you learn how the ship feels. So once you've built your system, take 5 minutes. Just listen. Let the sound of the engine settle in. Feel the faint sway and pay attention to how your cabin behaves. The walls creak differently on port days. The air shifts when the balcony door opens. The light tells you what time it is without checking a clock. That's when you realize something important. The ship isn't just taking you somewhere, it is the experience.
And when you can move in harmony with it, you've gone beyond setup. You've entered mastery.
Number 12. Prime tomorrow before it starts. By now, your cabin is optimized and your rhythm is locked. But the pros? They finish strong because there's one final move that separates the amateurs from the ones who make cruising look effortless. They prime tomorrow before it happens. Here's what that looks like. You come back to your cabin at the end of the night. The hallway's quiet. The lights are low. That faint hum of the ship feels like white noise. Before you even sit down, you reset your space. Not perfectly, just enough to make morning easy. You refill your water bottle. You lay out tomorrow's outfit. You check the daily schedule or the app for what's happening at sunrise. You plug in your devices. Close your curtains halfway so the natural light wakes you gently. 10 minutes, that's all it takes. Because when you wake up, everything's ready. No stress, no scramble, no clutter. You start your day already calm, while the rest of the ship is still fumbling around half asleep. That's the quiet power of preparation. The version of you who wakes up tomorrow already has things handled, because the version of you from last night thought ahead. It's such a small detail, but it rewires how you experience your cruise. Every day starts lighter, smoother, cleaner, and over time, that habit compounds. You'll find yourself anticipating everything, packing smarter, navigating the ship instinctively, adjusting to time zones without even thinking about it. It's not about being obsessive, it's about owning your environment before it owns you. And that's the real secret to cruising like a pro. Control the controllables. When you set the conditions, everything else falls into place. And once you master this one cabin, you'll never go back. Every ship you step onto from now on will feel like yours. Once you've got your cabin dialed in like this, everything else starts falling into place. You'll notice you move differently around the ship. Smoother, quieter, more in sync with the flow of everything happening on board. That's when you realize it's not about having the biggest cabin or the best view. It's about how you use it. And once you master that part, the rest of the ship opens up to you in a completely different way. If you want to see exactly how to use those same insider principles beyond your room to navigate the ship like a pro and avoid those traps first-timers always fall into, keep watching. There's a breakdown waiting in the next video that takes this to another level. And if you want access to deeper strategies seasoned cruisers share, join the free school community linked below. It's where the real conversation happens. Your voyage is just beginning.